House. Let's talk about it with Texas Congressman Michael McCaul, chair of the House Homeland Security Committee and senior member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee. Chairman, welcome to America's Newsroom.
Good morning, Shannon.
Okay, so we know that sanctions package passed the Senate 98-2. It's now sitting in the House. Democrats are pointing the finger at Republicans. Here is what a spokeswoman for House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi has to say. Stalling the Russia sanctions bill is just the latest outrage in House Republicans' long-running complicity in the Trump White House's weakness toward Putin. While Putin and President Trump meet privately, the American people are left to ask why Republicans are more concerned with Russia's interests than the integrity of our democracy. Your response?
I think we're all concerned about the integrity of our democracy. I think anyone who got the briefing knows that Russia meddled in our elections, and I think they're playing politics with the sanctions bill. We had to send it back to the Senate on a procedural issue. Now they're holding it up in the House, trying to politicize it. This is really the only kind of argument hook they have to try to bring down the president, and they're playing politics with it. And, you know, Shannon, this is way too important. There has to be consequences to what Russia has done, both in the elections, but also in Ukraine and Crimea, and what they've done in eastern Ukraine, where they have an ongoing war. We have to stop that aggression. That's why these sanctions were passed out of the Senate in the first place. That should be a topic of discussion between the president and Putin, and we intend to get these passed after we get back up there next week.
What do you expect the response will be from the White House? Because we know there's been a little bit of daylight between Republicans and the White House on these sanctions.
Well, I think we have to get these sanctions right. And what we don't want to do is hurt American interests. We want to punish Russia for their bad behavior, what they've done. We have to have consequences. But we also don't want to have unintended consequences and punish American interests abroad. And so that's the balance we're trying to work out. And I think we're going to get there. It's too important of an issue.
What do you expect from the meeting today? Do you think there will be anything substantive or concrete? I mean, much was made of the meeting that the president had with Russia's foreign minister in the Oval Office. Pictures were released by their media, and a lot of people didn't like the images they saw. They thought that President Trump appeared to be too jovial, too jokey, too familiar and comfortable with the Russians. I would imagine the meeting with Putin may be different.
Yeah, and this is the first time these two major superpowers have met. It's a very important meeting. I hope the issues related to Syria and the fight against ISIS and how we can deal with Assad, their civil war, the humanitarian crisis of the refugees. That's very important. North Korea is going to be very important, both with Putin and the president of China. How are we going to deal to leverage North Korea to stop their nuclear program and ICBM program? And lastly, the Ukraine, where we've seen, this naked aggression by Russia taking over Crimea and eastern Ukraine, and cyber meddling as well. So these are all, and they had 30 minutes to go over this, by the way, with translators. So it's going to be a very high-level meeting.
What do you make of the run-up to this? Because people talk a lot about the psychology. Putin, the way that he preps, former KGB guy, always a KGB guy. Our president is new to politics, but he's not new to negotiating or to coming up against people that are tough guys, quote unquote. How do you think it goes between these two?
Well, this is really just getting to know. They've never met before. I think they're going to feel each other out on personalities. They're both very strong, personalities. And so, at the end of the day, we don't have a lot in common with Russia, but we do have some interest in common with Russia, and that is the fight against ISIS. And I hope there will be that mutual understanding to destroy and defeat them, which we are, by the way, in Syria. And then we got to deal with what happens after ISIS falls in Syria.
Yeah, because there are a lot of interests there that people would like to get their hands on from all different factions and across all kinds of ideologies. All right, Chairman McCaul, good to see you today. Thank you.
Thank you.